The world is watching Beijing tonight as President Trump sits down with Xi Jinping in one of the most closely watched meetings of the year. Trade, artificial intelligence, Taiwan, and global stability are all on the table. And the outcome could affect markets, technology, and international politics worldwide because Trump's not the only one over there. He took a lot of fanboys with him. So, Eddie, welcome back. Um, is it wrong saying fanboys?
I would say no. I would. I have the
Okay.
same sentiment. Is I would say fanboys for sure. You think about the folks that went over with him. Pretty much all CEOs, right?
Yeah.
And these are some of the CEOs in the United States that have been pretty much, I would say, meeting with him on a consistent basis. So taking them over is not a shock at all.
No, and I mean, it was Elon and who else was on Air Force One? Everybody else flew over on their own jets, I guess.
I think quite a few of them was on Air Force One, but I know Tim Cook was there.
Yeah.
Um, we got Elon. We also have a few of the other chip manufacturer CEOs were there as well.
Hmm.
That was going on that trip. Some of your folks, as you stated, in the AI realm was there as well. So we have a large number of CEOs that have made their way over to, I guess, to see what type of things they can get out of it, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're going over there, you're not just going over there to be a representative. You're going over there for something. You think about the Denzel Washington meme everybody has. I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah.
I think that that's what this is about.
Yeah. Because, yeah, you're right. The list, you've got Elon Musk, Jensen Huang, Tim Cook, Larry Fink, Marco Rubio. He even took Eric Trump. I mean, is it the pity tours? But I know why he took him because he's now involved in that government contract for making the drones.
In crypto as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and Lara Trump went with him. Executives from Boeing, Qualcomm, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, GE Aerospace, Visa, Mastercard, and Micron were also a part of the delegation. So only the people that were absolutely needed.
And some of those I'm really laughing at that actually went over. I would say the representatives from like the financials, Visa, Mastercard,
Hmm.
also Goldman Sachs. Even Tim Cook going over is funny to me as well. Just knowing how when it comes to money and how it works in China. So if anybody who's never gone to China, I would highly recommend going. It's a beautiful place. Um, they don't take U.S. currency there. They
No.
don't take Visa, Mastercard. They don't take any of that. Okay. Everything is done in China. They have their own currency there that they use. And if you're going to take a visit, you need to make sure that you have things set up on your device because everything is pretty much mobile there.
Yeah.
There's really not any exchanging of bills. So I'm not shocked that China is one of the largest economies in the world. And if you can try to make it where your card is being used there, you're going to be able to recoup quite a bit of money in any type of investment. So that's not a big shock.
Well, it's a big thing now because the EU has been addressing everything. They got Apple on the cable, so now they have to be using the USB-C. They just came out with this new one that all batteries must be changeable by individuals by 2027. So any Apple phone that's going to be sold in the EU is going to have that option available. I can't even imagine how crazy that makes the engineers at Apple knowing that they plan 3, 4 years ahead of time.
Yeah, in some of those laws, they even become in stateside. Now you got the right to repair laws
Hmm.
that have really taken off in the U.S., giving people the ability to repair their own devices. However, the way that Apple does it from my research is that they require you to purchase the equipment from them, or
from them.
loan they will loan you the equipment to be able to do your own repair. And if your repair doesn't go, the way that you think it should go, okay, you can always still take it to one of their service providers or Apple stores to get it fixed. So,
So
you know,
after you broke it, even more.
exactly. And then we have Elon Musk there. Tesla is sold in China. They do quite a bit of their batteries there in China. They don't have access to the most up to date technology when it comes to to
No.
batteries. As far as the blade batteries that they produce, BYD produces those batteries.
Mm-hmm.
You also have Xpeng there as well, who their autonomous driving software is some of the best autonomous driving software that you will ever come across. Um, so you have a lot of people in the U.S. who are clamoring for Chinese EVs.
Yeah.
We can't get them in the states. They're available, obviously, in Mexico where you live.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting ready to come to Canada
Yes, they are.
as well, but only EVs that you can get here in the U.S. are U.S. Made EVs from your different car manufacturers, but they're nowhere near the I would say the technology, the build, the the way that the Chinese EVs are engineered, the technology that's in those EVs run circles upon anything that's offered here
Yeah.
in the states. So when you see all of these CEOs going over to China, they want a piece of that China market, uh, and that's the only reason that they're going is that they're trying to leave there with something, and studying and understanding China the way that I do. I don't I don't think they're going to be leaving there with anything. To be realistic with you, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Everyone that's going over there is to find out how they do it so quickly, how are they making so much money off of it, and can we steal this tech and bring it back to the States? Or how can we party in with them and start? But, it comes down to who's in charge at the moment. Who is he going to allow that for?
And and at the end of the day, I think it's how much money can he get out of it. It's not in when I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying he, I'm saying Trump here. How much can he get out the deal? If Elon Musk, whoever on down the line, I just don't want to single anyone out. I believe that he's going to be looking at what can I get out of this if I allow the technology in, because it's always been the the play that politicians in the United States have used. If we allow Chinese vehicles in, they're going to be,
Mm-hmm.
reading our infrastructures. They're going to be sending all of this information back to China and all of these things, which to me personally is hogwash.
Yeah.
If you look at, I would say over 90% of the things that you have in your home, 90% of those things are made in China. Okay.
For the
If they
most
really
part.
wanted to do, if they really wanted to do something, all the tech that you have in your hand is made in China.
Yeah.
All of the tech that you use on a daily basis, television, so on and so forth, you name it, those things are made in China. They may be designed in the US. There's a company that loves to put that on their boxes,
Mm-hmm.
designed in California. However, it's put together in China. So all of these CEOs, again, you're making your way over. You're trying to get something, but there's also some other things that comes out of this conversation that people is going to be thinking about outside of both the trade and the technology we talked about. Is also Taiwan. That has always been a talking point for U.S. Taiwan has U.S. military bases there
Mm-hmm.
for so-called protection from China. It's always been rumored that China at some point is going to invade Taiwan. I don't buy it. To be realistic
I
with
don't
you,
think
and
they
that's
ever
just my
will.
yeah, that's just my opinion. I really don't think that they will ever do that. I think that's more U.S. propaganda
Mm-hmm.
to keep a military machine going. That we need to constantly protect this body of land, and the only way that they can have their sovereignty like against China is if we're there,
Yeah.
and I don't buy that.
No, no. Taiwan is a thing that's always been in play for a very, very long time now, knowing that China wants to envelop them back into their own system. And the fact that they've been buying arms after arms after arms to try to defend themselves just in case. I mean, they're one of the better customers that the U.S. has right now for buying things from them, you know? But it gets to a certain point where you can't buy what you actually need. But that's besides the fact. T- Taiwan pisses off China every moment they can. They piss them off.
I would agree with
They're like, we're not Hong Kong. We're never going back,
that.
right?
To be realistic with you, and this is just my own thinking, I think eventually it will happen one day.
Okay.
Maybe not my lifetime, okay,
Yeah.
but I think that when it comes to economics, and I would say when it economics, and I would say true sovereignty protections,
Okay.
I think one day that will happen because you're like you said, you're continuing to purchase arms, purchase arms, purchase arms, purchase arms, right?
Yeah.
You're continuing to do that. So that means that you're taking away from your economic influence. Now you are the main manufacturer to this date when it comes to microchips.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of your chips are coming out of Taiwan. The thing is, how long will that last? Because how fast technology moves, and then also when it comes to the rare earth materials that are needed to be able to create those,
Yeah.
China has all of that. China has all that available to them with
Mm-hmm.
ease. Okay. So if they decided, if they really wanted to, and again, this is just my personal opinion, if they really wanted to dip their toes into that market, they could overtake Taiwan in an instant.
They can. Um, I don't think they even think about trying at the moment.
I
Um,
agree.
because it doesn't benefit them in the short term. And the one thing about China is they don't play like everybody always talks about. Um, they don't play checkers. They play that long game, that long chess game. They're looking 100 moves away when everyone else is just figuring what they're going to do with their pawn. So China has been
I agree.
investing here in Mexico now for a very, very long time. You are right, the EVs that are here, driving from the airport, which is the row where all the Chinese manufacturers are now, it's grown from five to eight. There's a ninth one going up. These are Chinese manufacturers that are bringing their vehicles and now manufacturing them in Mexico to export them through Central and South America. And now they have a shorter trip of getting their inventory up to Canada by building it in Mexico and shipping those EVs straight up there to them. So, I mean, China's looking at Mexico for the long term, 30, 40, 50 years down the road. So they're putting in all the infrastructure they can to build everything that takes them so long to transport now. They're going to build everything in Mexico.
And I agree with you. I like the fact that, as you stated, they played a long game. And just circling about back to Taiwan, if they wanted to, they could. But I don't think, like you stated, that's not in their best interest.
Mm-mm.
China is a country to me as I study them and I continue to see the initiatives that they have taken around the world. They more of how can we help you develop what it is that you have?
Yeah.
Now, do we want something in return? Yes, obviously, but
Lower
it's a
prices.
two-way. Lower prices, but you're going to continue to help us to grow our footprint globally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and like you said, lower prices that you will get access to. We'll also teach you how to use our technology. We'll also teach you how to develop that, so you're getting jobs, you're getting all of these different things from this country, and this country is not trying to take your resources from you.
Yeah.
Because if you think about Mexico itself, Mexico doesn't produce its own vehicles. They're in the process of, I know they're in the process of developing that,
They've got one
but
actually,
again,
an EV developed
yeah,
that they're actually starting to produce in Mexico. You're looking at about 15 grand for this little pocket rocket that you pull up and you wind it up on the road. And but it's the only vehicle. It's funny as hell. It's the only vehicle made in Mexico, and it's a little pocket EV. Actually, I'll have to get you info on that because it's
exactly.
pretty neat.
So when you're looking at it, yeah, please, I would love to look at that. But you look at it, it's like the people who have been benefiting from Mexico when it's come to the automotive market has been in U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had you produce their vehicles, they pay you penny on the dollar, okay, for the work that you're doing to
Yeah.
build that vehicle, and they sell that vehicle in the states or wherever else they want to sell it for an enormous profit. So what are you getting, out of that trade? You're not getting much of anything. So with China, the way that they come in, I've watched the things that they've done in the continent of Africa, how they've helped with a lot of development there. And with that, it's like, hey, we will help you build roads, we will help you build airports, we will
Mm-hmm.
help you build all of these things. There are some things that we would like from you. Let's have a contract because we help you build this. This is yours. This is not ours. Our contracts are for a certain period of time, and then we're out of there. That's it. But you have certain countries who they come in and they just take, and they stay there as long as they feel that the getting is good, and then they
Yeah.
leave. If they ever leave, right? So, um, this meeting again is, to me, it's just about how the U.S. can try to put get themselves a footprint in the Chinese market. Everyone has been trying to get a footprint in the Chinese market,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing about, and this is about the Chinese people, they're gonna buy their own first before they buy a foreign brand.
Oh yeah.
So Tesla has been sold there for years, but Tesla doesn't have the same footprint in China that it has, here in the Western Hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
So Apple products have been sold in China for a very long time.
Yeah.
They're seen as inferior products in comparison to the devices that you can get in China, primarily Huawei. So if I could, I would use a Huawei device in a heartbeat. Okay. But they're illegal
And it
here.
must make you nuts knowing the fact that in about 10 minutes I could be at the store buying a brand new one.
It doesn't drive me crazy. Am I envious? Slightly.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. They are good. They're damn good. They're used by, iPhones are down here in Mexico. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. But it comes down to sensibility and everyday use, and a lot of people can't afford $1,000 phone as their everyday phone. You can get a decent Chinese made phone here for a third of the cost. And if everybody you know got the same phone, who gonna feel bad about it?
Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. Because again, it's when I look at this meeting itself, it has some impacts it can make, but I'm still trying to determine what does it do for the everyday. American. I
Well,
don't know yet. I don't have the answer to that. I have my own intuitions, but as far as being able to see that, obviously we have to allow the meetings to take place.
I had the slide up earlier, and the talking points there are stronger relations, economic growth, global stability, and a better future. But who's that better future for? Is it going to be for the Chinese people or the American people? Because they can't go hand in hand, and it's never going to work that way.
Yeah, and you think about China. China is the largest exporter in the world.
Hmm.
Okay, but when it comes to their export, they it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to believe that their exports to America is very small, very.
Yeah,
So for them, even if they don't have any type of growth in the you know in the US, it doesn't hinder them at all.
no,
So like I said, who will it impact? And I agree with you. Yeah, it can develop stronger relations because again, you're doing your tariffs and stuff like that, tariffs on, tariffs off, right? That's where a relationship can get stronger. If you tone down your tariffs, you can see the economic growth that you're talking about. The global stability part, I think that one right there, um, I'm looking at a little bit more. I would say that would be my primary focus due to the fact that China is a part of BRICS.
hmm,
And there's another country that's in a conflict with the United States right now that's also a part of BRICS. And obviously that's Iran. We also know that China has been supplying as far as weaponry and also other technologies to Iran as well.
yeah,
And that's not going to stop.
no.
I think that you're trying to you want them to distance themselves, and again, that's just my opinion that the U.S. would like to see pretty much any country that they can distance themselves from Iran. But I think Iran has a large cheering section,
They do.
and with that, you have a cheering section that's going to ensure that they're taken care of. And the fact that Iran knows how to use what it has is its biggest export, obviously being oil, and having the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz, they know what they understand what it's going to take to be able
Oh,
to hinder the
definitely.
U.S. And that comes down to the money aspect. So that I would say that piece right there is really I'm going to pay really close attention. I'm not for sure how many days this summit is supposed to last, but that's something that I'm really going to pay close attention to.
It's going to be interesting what comes out of this. One thing's for sure, the Trump family will come out of it richer. It just depends on where the rest of us come out of it. Is it going to be the higher prices that we've been dealing with? Are they finally going to strike some deals? This oil crisis has a big impact on China because a lot of their materials need that petroleum to be able to make all the pieces that go into everything they're putting together. So even China's being affected right now. So
Think about yeah, they're being affected, but they're not being affected as much as everyone else.
no,
Be so because they're still getting their oil in. It's just being done by rail now, so they're still getting their supplies on a continuous basis. So we'll see, man. Like I said, it's uh, that piece right there, and then as far as the future, better future for Hugh, right? You just talked about
hmm,
Trump them possibly, how much money are they going to make out of this deal. So that's the future that most definitely going to be impacted.
yeah, it's some will say, and I'm going to put up the graphic real quick, that some are saying it's a bad deal for the U.S. because um, there's already economic damage, the national security threats, the fact that he's telling everybody where everything's going under his new ballroom and what's going to be there and what it's going to be able to stop. Supply chains, global impact, technology. Technology is the big one. they're going to keep going ahead of us because we've gotten away from pushing companies to do that at the moment. Even though companies are still going to try to do it, the government isn't pushing for new developments, new technology to be brought about.
I agree with you. The technology aspect. I'm a techie like you are yourself. I'm always fascinated by the things that I see coming out of China. Being able to see it firsthand is really cool as well. Um, it's like, you know, I have a running joke whenever someone sends me a Chinese EV, I send them back. They'll send me a video or whatever it may be. I send them back a photo of Fred Flintstone riding his car because that's how I feel. I feel being here in the U.S. This is where we are. Okay, as far as it comes to our automobiles. Um,
Yeah,
so so with that, it's like I said, the technology is years and years beyond, and I'm not gonna say I would say decades beyond. I'm not even gonna. I can't do it years at this point anymore, because when you, like I said, being able to see it firsthand, it's like no. What you're realizing that we're dealing with here, you are in the way that they've changed their infrastructure as far as a country. If you look at photos from 10 years ago from a certain location and look at the photos from that exact same location now, it's night and day. How
yeah.
much money is being put into infrastructure in China, and it's based upon the technology that they have.
It tell you what, I'm thinking about going on a Chinese EV driving tour one weekend here shortly. Just to go ahead and because now there's 6 companies here that sell Chinese EVs. So the market here is becoming very saturated, like it would in the U.S. if they would let them in. But they would definitely kill all the U.S. prospects for selling EVs because even here, we've talked about the pricing at BYD. You can get their top end SUV with everything that would be an extra with every other seller in the U.S. and roll out of there for between $40,000 and $45,000 with an 8-year battery warranty, with 1 year free of insurance, with 2 years free of cellular service, with these other things that are free and free and free that they're trying to get that base. But it's fun watching all the different ones run around here. It's kind of neat.
It's fun for people that live there,
Yeah.
but when you visit and you don't officially live there, it's not as fun. To be realistic with you, but if for folks who haven't been to Asia, I encourage you to go. It's you will pay more in your airline ticket even before we before all this oil stuff took off in comparison to the dollar amount that you will spend there for your hotel accommodations
Yeah.
and your food. That's It's that inexpensive to visit China and to visit other parts of Asia as well. So I highly would recommend it, to be able to see what this country has done in, I would say, over the last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's things to be seen, and China just isn't slowing down. They keep going and going and going. That's why CES is always an amazement. Watching what China's going to drop in CES every year is like, oh, we ain't got nothing like that.
CS is probably one of the hardest watches because the fact of, as you stating, we don't have that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like the kid, going to the store, right, and you see something that it is that you want, and your parent is like, no, you can't have it, type deal. And that's how it comes down to watching those expos, and I'm like sitting there like, man, I can't have that. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. I do want to say to everyone, there's a lot going on out there. This meeting between Trump and Xi Jinping, or I'm not going to say Winnie the Pooh in there at all. It's one of the most closely watched international trips right now because this is going to set what we're going to be doing with our economy, with our technology, with global diplomacy. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is something real, or is Trump just going over there to blow air and get his little snippets in the middle of the night? But I don't know, Eddie. Final thought from you, sir.
We'll see, man. Like I've shared earlier, I'm not 100% sure that what's going to come out of this. I don't know, right? Because I'm not in
Yeah.
the room or anything like that. But we'll see. Do I think much is going to come out of this just from the studies of China, but also knowing the way that this administration currently works? I don't think so.
Yeah. All we can do is wait to see what he does tomorrow because every day he's going to do something stupid over there to make this worse for everybody else. My opinion. Well, folks, thanks for joining us again. Um, thanks for watching because, it keeps happening. He's going to keep doing it.